Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Justice for All, where we found ourselves a little bit of testimony to present evidence to, because we're talking about ranges of gunshots here. At this point in time, the victim took a shot because they were too close. He missed. Well, if he was too close, one of the things that Gumshoe brought up not too long ago was, of course, ballistic powder, burning, that kind of thing that would be around a close-range shot. They obviously were not close range if there's no burning on the clothes, but there's just a hole. So, we look to present, and then start to unravel things. Apart from that, can I do the objection by voice? Objection!
Objection!
Indeed. Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. Eh? What do you mean? This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume? Gunpowder burn? This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh! But there is not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other.
Objection!
I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. And I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that?
Objection!
As if that was even possible. According to testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Well then... That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful. Can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. Well, we know that we're going to be presenting something, but we need to prove that no one pushed anyone away, and it seems less like premeditated assault, and which I think this is our key bit of testimony here. About 8 inches off the ground is a hole that looks like, well, a small hole that looks like a bullet hole. Basically, we're thinking gunshots angles. It's from far away, so we know they weren't point blank. And to get a gunshot down to there, from where Maya was, we think, it would have to be an incredibly high angle shot aiming downwards to get through her sleeve, and then, what, if she was standing, and then through that screen at such a low point. Either that, or Maya's still on the ground herself, not attacking anyone whatsoever or pushing anyone back. So something doesn't make sense. There is a fatal flaw in our argument, Your Honor. Fatal? Flaw? Yow! I'm pushing for the there was someone behind the screen bit. Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in an explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. Well, I think we know what we're presenting, don't you? This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that? A folding screen? I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Ah! It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who, where, what? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground. Which means... when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground. Order! Order! This changes everything! Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Oh wait, I have to choose stuff? Well, I thought she was like standing like here, but of course that wouldn't hit, so we're talking somewhere between here and here. And for an angle-wise, either if she was low to the ground, then she actually has to be as close to this as possible. Yeah, because that would have to be a straight shot if she was squatting as well. So we're talking about, like, right here. Which seems a bit of a weird place to do, but they do a lot of ceremonial stuff in these kind of things, where they, like, burn incense, yada yada. So maybe she was over here to do something, even with her back turned. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Let's give it a go. Otherwise, she's probably on the tatami maps.
Take that!
She was standing here, near the folding screen. I thought you said we were crouching a second ago. Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? No. Burn holes, which is why one of the other reasons we chose so far away. Also angle there. That's impossible. But why? You of all people should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she was shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Ah! Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You! I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing away from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? Well, it does change everything. One, she's probably too far away to stab someone in the first place. Two, she was obviously attending to something else. Three, it makes it seem like 100% the doctor was the aggressor in this situation, just from what we have currently. So it changes a lot, but then that's going to be justified self-defense again, which is not what we're really going for. So then complications are going to arise after I say it changes everything. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with a knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen? Exactly. If Mayor Fay was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job! Ugh. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How is it all my fault? It always is, Gumshoe. You can start repairing your standing by first removing that free-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? That's gotta be Lotta. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. And so we've made it through one little segment, of course. Here come the rest. June 21st, 11:37. A very pensive mayor standing in district court defending lobby number 3. They all look identical though. Phew, that was a close one. I know you were giving it your all to defend me, but I could feel the death penalty hanging in the air. I felt like I was pretty close to dying myself.
But you were wonderful out there. You listened carefully, made theories, tricked everyone into believing you.
Thanks? Wait. Tricked?
That must be the lawyer's secret technique, right? By the way, is the next witness who I think it is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lotta Hart.
Oh, guess there's no escaping her, huh? Remember, Nick, you promised you'd save me.
If you lose, me and my sister's ghost will come after you and haunt you.
Your sister? Are you talking about Mystic Mia?
Yeah, do you remember her, Pearly?
My sister was a super good lawyer. She was also Nick's teacher. Oh, I didn't know that.
As we head straight back into the courtroom. Where is Pearl during all of this, by the way? Is she with us? I don't know, because not really anyone's appeared next to us after all. Court will now reconvene. Now the first order of... Ow!
I don't want to hear it, old man. After I call my witness, sit there quietly and watch like a good little boy.
Yes, sir.
Bring in the photographer who witnessed the channeling.
And we know this is not going to go well because it's Lotta.
Witness, your name and occupation, if you please.
Well, at least it's not old bag.
Hey, Phoenix, how you doing?
Just fine.
Sorry about this. Didn't exactly have a choice, you know. Yowza! Name and occupation. I declare, what in tarnation? Hey, Judge, this here is violence against my fair self.
That's fine.
That's fine. That ain't fine. That's a whip. Yeah.
There's no need for foolish outcries from foolishly foolish fools.
Just hurry up and testify about what happened on the day of the murder. I haven't even gotten to say my name and job yet. Name's Lotta Hart, paranormal photographer, and I'm here to testify.
Oh my goodness, the accent's running away now. Now, let's all be one big happy family, okay? Okay. I'm probably not going to be happy after this testimony, I don't bet. It's probably going to be like, she was running around the place and continuously stabbing the victim.
Only the doc and the defendant went into the challenge chamber. We were waiting outside the door and then bang! We hear this gunshot. Mr. Lawyer there broke the door down and we rushed into the room. Inside was a dead victim and a defendant waving a pistol around, so more or less that. I swear, other than those two, there was no one else in the room.
I was in the room. You were in the room. And if she was waving a pistol around in the air, we'd have been a bit more in trouble, wouldn't we? You've already lied. And did you take a picture of the scene right after the murder took place?
Reckon course.
What? Excuse me?
Reckon course. It's your fault, you reckon? Of course I did. Ah! Does it look like I care? Just hurry up and show your picture to the court.
The moment of truth of what will be in that picture.
Let's see here. This here's the picture.
It's all bad Photoshop.
A what?
That's not exactly waving it round, but still. It would certainly seem that only the defendant and the victim were in that room. Okay, maybe not as lie, because we never got to see, after all, what was going on. But wouldn't we have been a bit more freaked out if there was something bad going on? Lotta's photo has been added to the court record.
Are you ready, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
And we'll clear all doubt about Mayor through this cross-examination. Just watch me. I don't know. The picture paints a fairly different scene than what we posited about gunshots and angles.
Only the doctor and defendant went into the challenge chamber.
Hold it!
Was it really only those two that went in?
Objection!
What are you blabbering about? You were there too, were you not?
Ah.
Why don't you answer that yourself? Was it really just the two of them? Yes. Dr. Gray and Mayer were the only two that went into the room.
Hold on! We can't have the defense testifying against its own client!
Anyway, folks, only the two of them went into the challenge chamber, you hear? But you knew that from the very beginning, didn't you? Witness, continue. We were waiting outside the door and then bang! We heard this gunshot!
Technically, we heard two. Was it really a gunshot? Wait a second, this reminded me of the case we had with Lotta in the first place, where we heard two distinct gunshots and only one's being talked about.
Objection!
Are you insane? You must have heard it as well.
Why don't you testify for the court, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Was it really a gunshot? Yes, I think it was something that sounded like a gunshot. And why are we here listening to the defense testify? And the world becomes just a little crueler.
I heard a gunshot a long time ago, so I know.
I tell you, that was a gunshot I heard.
Now this is where the story heats up. Mr. Lawyer there broke the door down. We rushed into the room.
Should we keep testifying against our defendant here? So, let me get this straight. This Mr. Lawyer there broke the door down?
Honestly, Mr. Phoenix Wright, why don't you tell us what happened then?
Yes, Miss Von Karma. I broke the door down. Sorry. Why does this feel like an inquisition?
No need for apologizing. That was great. You're a real man.
Oh, really? That's something I would have liked to see.
The judge is smiling rather openly.
I'll take that as a good sign.
And? What did you see when she broke in? Inside was the dead victim, the defendant waving a pistol around. Now this will be the interesting part, I think.
Are you sure it was the defendant, Mayor Fay?
Sure, I'm sure.
Lotta seems awfully confident in her testimony. To be honest, I don't actually see any point in pressing harder. We know it was Mayor in there. Even I can see that any normal person would know who that was. It's no good. I shouldn't push my luck on this. I swear, other than those two, there was no one else in that room.
Hold it!
And we kind of know this to be true as well. Are you absolutely certain of that?
Sure am, but that old witch chases out of the room, so there could be something in there. Old witch?
Does she mean Morgan Le Fay? Morgan Fay, even?
There was no one else in there, and you know it. The channeling chamber was very dark, almost pitch black.
Was there really no one else in there? What about behind the folding screen behind the door under the flooring?
But they'll bring up the fact that it's locked.
That's the problem here. But I've got to press something now. I've got to choose something now. But behind the folding screen is the interesting one. What about behind the folding screen? Did you check back there?
Rick Given.
Huh? One in the...
Rick Given, you know? You reckon? That's a given. Took me a good look around the room once.
Really? You did? When?
Ain't no way anyone was hiding out behind that phone screen.
If I may have a word with you, Miss Hart.
What? You got a problem?
Rick Given. I mean, I am having a little difficulty in understanding you. If you would stop saying such things as Rick and Given. Ah!
Now then, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you see a problem with the testimony or don't you?
Ah, just as I thought. There's nothing wrong with her testimony. Is he meaning that literally?
I was with her, so I know she's telling the truth.
Enough. It seems that there are no issues with Mrs. Hart's testimony.
At the time of the crime, only two people were in the channeling chamber. The victim, Dr. Turner Gray, and a defendant, Mayor Fay.
The face of the defendant cannot be verified in this picture. However, if we think about the circumstances, it would have to be the defendant.
However, she was having a dream at the time, which makes it sound like she was unconscious somewhere else. So obviously the next part of the case, or what we need to do next, is somehow prove that someone else could have been in the room instead. That's about it. What am I going to do? If I just let this go?
What is it, Mr. Wright? You look as if you have something to say.
If I make one wrong move, I'm going to have the judge against me. Is there anything I can present that would prove it's not Mayor in that photo? No,
There really isn't. Apart from maybe this. But I don't think that's the time. Also, it changes a lot there. No, I don't think there is. Nothing at all. I can't present anything yet. Well, Mr. Wright. Nothing, Your Honor. And with that bombshell, hopefully we've chosen the right thing here. The game moves on and Mayor does not go to the death penalty kind of place. Let's hope on the next episode of Phoenix Wright. Justice for all. I'll see you guys then for more. Bye-bye.